This is inwin's Mod Free Mini 2. This is another Mod 2. And you can actually put these two together. How? Let me show you. Okay, before I start, I'm not gonna lie, putting these two together was actually a lot harder than I had expected. The mobile guide did not have any instructions on how to combine these two Mod 2s, so it was a lot of trial and error, and I had to eventually consult inwin for help. Thank you, Michelle, so much for all the help that you have provided me. So let's turn back time and see how I actually made these two Mod 2s possible. Okay, if this wasn't obvious enough, I'm using this additional Mod 2 for the graphics card. One Mod 2 does not have space for an additional graphics card. You will need to get an additional Mod 2 like this to mount your discrete graphics card. You can also use this additional Mod 2 as a CPU cooler, or to put exhaust or intake fans, or to use it as a mass storage unit. But because I use this for a graphics card, you will need this Mod Free GPU expansion bracket, which is specific for this Mod Free Mini, as well as a PCIe riser cable for your graphics card. Okay, another thing you will need to consider is the airflow of the case. Even though these are technically open cases or open frames, they won't be open frames when you actually put back all of the wooden panels. Or you could always leave them open like this. Up to you, but should you want to close it, here's how you do it. I am no means an expert on airflow, but I think this may work best for this configuration. First things first, you could either set the graphics card to be exhaust, or you can put it at the front of the main unit to make the graphics card function as an intake. I probably borrowed this idea from another brand, the SUP01, SUP01, where the GPU is mounted at the front so that the GPU will function as an intake fan to take in fresh air from the outside to cool the rest of the unit. However, because that case has multiple chambers to allow the different components to be cooled individually, I'm not sure whether that concept actually can work with a case like this, because when you actually put everything close together, there's some space left, but it's not as much space as you would like to see compared to the SUP01. I'm going to go with the standard configuration you see in your normal cases, where the GPU is at the bottom. Usually there'll be 2 or 3 more fans also at the side so that it can conduct air from the bottom, and the fans on the GPU will take that cool air to cool the GPU itself and exhaust out of the ports on the side of the GPU. FYI, this is an MSI RX 6600 XT Mac OC. It may be a small card, but I checked that temperatures do get relatively high when you do stuff on it, like play games or you do work. But that temperatures on the graphic card is actually okay because the graphics card is made to run at the kind of temperatures. Okay, moving the GPU aside, in part 1, I actually had the power supply facing the front, so again, you can take fresh air from the outside to cool the power supply. But because that was a standalone unit, that was fine. But now I decided to put a power supply fan to face the back, because I'm actually going to flip this case around. When you put these two together, the power supply will have sort of an unobstructed airflow so that it can take more air from the bottom, cool all the rest of the components. The CPU cooler will have no obstruction to take in fresh air to cool the 5600G. Well, actually, I think the direction of the power supply should not really matter much, because I think you could have it facing outside or inside, because one panel will be here and there's actually nothing in front except for a panel for the power supply to take in fresh air, as well as to remove the hot air from the power supply. We're going to start with this guy first. The motherboard will go in first, then the power supply. I've actually done a full step-by-step guide on how to set up one Mod Free Mini in part 1. So if you are interested or have not seen that video, do check the link above. Okay, so when you're done installing the motherboard and power supply and putting all the cables, now we can come to this part where I actually took the longest to figure out. I have done all the figuring out, so you don't have to waste time to do the same thing. So as I mentioned in the beginning, you will need to have this GPU bracket, which is specifically made for this Mod Free Mini case. Other GPU riser brackets or holders will not fit into this case, a lesson which I have learned. I have spent a lot of time trying to fit another GPU riser bracket, wondering how the screw holes do not line up, because the sort of custom GPU brackets do not fit into this case. And before we install this GPU riser bracket, you will have to remove the base tray. Once you have done so, how and where do you install this GPU expansion bracket? The GPU riser bracket can be either like this, the bottom left, or you can flip it over and have it on the top right. I chose this bottom left partly because of this GPU riser cable. The position of this GPU riser bracket is also very important. So let's use the lowest main screw hole. Use the screws provided and screw in the 4 holes when you align the GPU riser bracket onto the mounting areas. Okay, next, time to install the riser cable. This itself was also a puzzle because I was kind of dumb to figure it out. Anyway, the 2 standoffs provided go into these 2 holes on the GPU riser bracket. So install it using the standoff holder and screw it down onto the GPU riser bracket. And when you're done installing the GPU riser cable, remember to remove the PCIe brackets, and now you can install your GPU into this Mod 2 unit. This is a Mod 2, so it can only take certain sizes of GPU. So based on where I put the GPU riser bracket, this is the amount of space that you can have for your GPU. So according to the website, they recommend maximum this amount of length, or something like a GPU with 2 fans. Triple fan cards, I am not sure if you can go in, but if you can find slim triple fan cards, perhaps height-wise, you can still try to squeeze into a Mod 2. So if you really want to put something like your 4080s, 4090s, even the new 5080s, 5090s, you will need to get the Mod 3 case so that those GPUs can fit comfortably into that case. So when you have done installing your graphics card, this Mod 2 is done. And now for the fun part. So this part of the riser cable will have to go into the PCI slot on your motherboard, which is quite a thing to do because of how the riser cable is now like vertical to horizontal. So there's only so much space for the riser to go in, so you have to twist it a lot, bend it a lot more, twist it even further so that it can go onto the PCI slot. Not exactly the best because you can see that the riser cable is already flexing to a certain amount. I don't know how I'm supposed to bring these 2 units actually together because the straight angle on the inlet part just won't bend and there is no way to put these 2 together. No worries, because in this case, no pun intended, I do not have the additional base plate to put these 2 Mod 2s together. So I'm sort of safe from that problem. But at least I think we can still put some of the wooden panels back. Okay, so this is the not so good example. You definitely need to wire all your cables first before trying to put the panels back because it's going to be much harder with the wires going around, but I'm just going to show you. If you're not seeing this, is a base plate and you have to move these screws to the bottom to fit onto the base plate. I'm just going to install the I/O panel, install the main front I/O. There is no way to install the back panel, so we can only install the front panel. Just going to cover it. This will be better when I show you the final product. Inwin has also kindly sent over a fresh new batch of wooden panels for the second Mod 2. These things are separate if you buy the additional Mod 2 frame on its own, so that's actually more money. But thank you Inwin for sending over this. Yeah, everything is so new and fresh. These are actually pretty good quality or even very high quality wood, whatever wood they use, so it smells and feels like real quality premium wood. It smells very good. Yep, so I'm done with the second. So I'm going to cover this one, and this one. There were actually quite a lot of panels inside the additional custom kit panel box. I believe this is the mount for the bottom so that the base plate can go onto it. Inwin actually sent me the expansion unit for the additional base plate. So I'm going to put these 2 away. There is the stock panel as well as one with a rubber grommet. Yeah, but it's going to be like that. First, top panel. Stock panel. Well, this is technically the final piece when you don't include the base plate. You can remove the screws here. The base plate mounting bracket, the spare one, is like this, so this will slide onto this part. Okay, so for the riser cable, a better option would either be 1. Find the correct length riser which has the strength and flexibility to bend, or 2. Inwin can come up with a riser cable that is horizontal on both ends. The latter could be difficult because the GPU expansion bracket has to be installed in an upright position. Okay, so it seems like I have the pieces to expand the base plate after all. What a dumb mess. The first thing you have to do is to remove this bracket or brace from the base. Next, you remove the screws at the bottom from the base plate and pull the 2 pieces apart. So you now add this bridging piece or the expander and you connect the 3 pieces together like a jigsaw puzzle. Then you reinstall the screws. Next, when you're done, you put back the original brace and add the extra brace that came with the expansion kit on the other side. There are also additional screws for this one. I decided to have the brace for the main unit to face the back because the front I/O is at the back while the brace for the GPU unit is facing the front. Okay, so it's now time to put the 2 units together. Let's put the main PC on the right brace. The main PC should slide nicely on the bracket on the base plate. I am also going to put in the GPU unit on the left hand side while slotting in the riser cable into the main PC. And let's install the riser cable onto the PCI slot. And as you can see, because of the riser cable, it can be difficult to bring these 2 units together. But I believe there are some stickers or rubber things that act as separators or standoffs when you have these 2 units together. But no worry, I can continue to add in the cover for the rubber grommet for the display cable and also the front I/O cover. And this is where disaster struck. As I was trying to bring these 2 units together, the GPU unit fell to the floor. It was a really big drop. The graphics card is fine, but the bottom metal frame is now bent to a weird angle. This makes it very difficult or nearly impossible to put this unit onto the base plate. Very sad, but at least I'm thankful it is still possible to insert the GPU expansion bracket. So, big lesson here. If something as heavy as a power supply is on the top and you're trying to balance these 2 units on this area, make sure to secure these 2 units first before trying to insert the PCI riser cable. So I'm not able to unbend the band, but no matter, this PC still works. So how does a 5600G as well as a 6600 XT perform in this current climate? Okay, so on the first game, I have FF14 Dawn Trail at 1080p high. That's a score of almost 13,000, as well as a score of 10,000 on 1440p medium. As for temperatures, it was about 57 degrees C for the 5600G and 55 degrees C for the 6600 XT. This is like the internal temperatures for both the CPU and GPU. I do not have the temperatures for the actual unit itself, but because it is not entirely closed, temperatures may still be different as they may be affected by the ambient temperature. Both the CPU and GPU ran at a higher temperature on a newer game such as Monster Hunter Wilds, but struggled to put out a more playable FPS on 1080p medium with FSR turned off. However, it is twice as fast when you have FSR as well as frame gen turned on. Building this PC, as mentioned, was harder than I have expected, but I have to admit, it was actually fun exploring the entire build process as well as finding out how modular these PC cases can be. On a side note, these 2 Mod Free Minis, excluding the PC parts but including the Gen 4 riser cable as well as the GPU expansion bracket, cost about USD $445. So set aside some cash if you want to get a PC like this, or set aside even more if you want to have 3 of these Mod Free Minis. So I hope this build guide will help you along if you want to build something like this. Therefore, like if you like this video, write down in the comments if you are interested in something like this. Catch you in the next video.